Good morning, everyone. It is such a beautiful day. My name is Dr. Thelma Scott, and I'm the founder of Safe Communities Talk Show / Radio Dabang. And we are going to have a blessed time today. But I just want to say I really thank God for waking me up this morning, because we have to remember, you guys, tomorrow's not promised to any of us. So when you see the sun shining, say thank you, Lord, for waking me up on this day. We have some very, very special guests on today. I'm going to introduce my co-hosts, and I'm going to have my office managers / coordinators here today helping us out. And they're going to tell you a little bit about them, and then I'm going to turn it over to our special guest, very special guest today. You guys, listen, because this is a very important show today. All right? I had Miss Mary Bell. Go ahead. You got the floor.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. So it's always an honor and pleasure to connect with y'all from Radio Dabang, and of course representing Safe Communities.
Yes.
And I'm a board member, and it's just always a pleasure to be able to bless students with scholarship. This is our main goal, to be able to continue getting sponsors, getting people that collaborate, so we can continue having our students to continue their education and follow their dreams by going to college. And of course, we cannot do this without our members, without our sponsors. And we're having an event on August 2nd, which we'll be speaking about it. In the meantime, I can introduce myself. I'm Sunshine Rodriguez with Sunshine Personnel Solutions. My specialty is to be able to bless people with employment opportunities versus employers with great candidates. We're in the oil and gas, construction, industrial, manufacturing, all types of industries. We staff from general to office professionals and skilled labor. So keep me in mind. If you're looking for a job, you can always reach out to us. Our website is www.sunshinepersonnelsolutions.com. Or you can reach out to me at 832-863-1090. Also, if you're an employer looking for candidates, whether it's in Houston, outside of the city, we're able to provide these services. Give us a call as well. So thank you once again. Sunshine Rodriguez here with Sunshine Personnel Solutions, and of course, a board member with Safe Communities.
Thank you for that wonderful message, okay?
My pleasure.
Ms. Johnson, we'll let her say something, and then we're going to turn it over to our special guest on today. Okay.
Hello, everyone. This is Ms. Johnson. I'm the office manager / coordinator for Safe Communities, and I just want to say hi to everyone. I just work the back.
Okie dokie.
And she does a lot behind the scenes.
Yeah, she does everything behind the scenes. Yeah, she does a lot behind the scenes. So we're just honored to have her. At this time, I'm going to turn it over to our special guest today, because they have a very, very special program that they're going to be talking about today. And I think everyone should be listening, because this is some information that everyone needs to know. So I'm going to turn it over to them. Irande, you can go ahead and introduce yourself, and then introduce your guests, and y'all can take it away, okay?
Thank you so much, Dr. Scott. Hi.
Okay.
Good morning. My name's Erandi Treviño, and I'm co-founder and executive director of the Raíces Collab Project, which is a grassroots organization based out of Houston, Texas, but we work throughout the state. And right now, one of our major projects is managing the Texas Community Carbon Capture and Storage Community Advocacy Coalition, which is a Texas-wide coalition dealing with the issues that we'll be talking about more today. And so with me is my colleague Becky, who's also a member of the coalition.
Good morning. Thank you so much for
Good
this
morning.
opportunity
Good morning.
to inform listeners that are your faithful followers of the
Right.
work that this coalition is doing.
Right.
My name is Becky Smith, and I'm the Texas director for a group called Clean Water Action.
Right,
And so
okay.
Clean Water Action is a nonprofit that was founded in the early 70s to help pass the
Right.
original Clean Water Act. So it was the first law that said
Right.
nationally we deserve clean, swimmable, drinkable, fishable waters all over the U.S. And so we've been working on the real grassroots efforts ever since then around community and pollution and public health.
Right.
And so we are a member group, somewhat like yours, and that's
Yes.
where we get our strength. Our strength is in our numbers.
Yes.
And that's our muscle is strength in numbers from our members. So we're part of this coalition effort in large part. Are you ready to hear about some issues? I'm
Yes.
going to take a deep dive and get real nerdy
And
here.
also solutions.
Okay, yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for the reminder, Ms. Sunshine.
Okay. Go ahead.
Well, the reason that a group like Clean Water Action would be a member of this coalition, the
Right.
CCS, Carbon Capture and Storage
Right.
Coalition, is because the way oil and gas and CO2 injections are managed happens to fall under the Safe Drinking Water Act.
Right.
Which it doesn't always make sense to everybody, but this is truly a
Because
water
they don't understand.
issue.
They don't understand the technology, and a lot of them don't understand the what's going on with it and the acronyms. And
Yeah.
that kills them because they don't understand the acronyms. So
Yes, I have
that's
all-
what we're doing today. We're going to explain to them and
Good.
let them know what the acronyms. When we say something, we have to say what the acronyms mean to help the people.
You know, we call
Go
that
ahead.
at my office, we call that acronymonious.
Acrimonious. I love it.
When you're seeing all these letters flying and
I
people,
love
it's
it.
just jargon,
Yes,
and folks don't understand,
right.
and it does affect real lives.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
the
that's
people
part
that
of our
need
work.
to understand it are not understanding it.
So part of our coalition work is to help break that down so everybody
Yes.
can understand what's affecting them.
Right.
So, Arani, should we start with sort of the EPA public notice?
Yeah. I want to take even one step back and explain what a coalition even is, because
Okay.
I think sometimes we throw these words around and
Right.
everybody doesn't know what do you mean a coalition.
Right.
So essentially a bunch of different organizations, nonprofit organizations and individuals from different communities that are going to be affected by these projects
Right.
came together and basically said, how can we stop this? If it's going to happen no matter what, how do we make it
Right.
safer? How do we make sure that communities are actually benefited with
Right.
when they're promised that they're going to be benefited? And so we have these organizations from around the state. We have
Right.
people in Midland, in Corpus Christi area, Jefferson County, Brazoria, Fort Bend, Harris
Right.
County. We're really working across the state on these issues because two things. One is the carbon capture and storage projects generally.
Right.
These are CCS. We're going to call them CCS, carbon capture projects. And so essentially, you know, we all hear about these issues affecting our environment. And one of them, a big one, is carbon.
Right.
Right? Like, okay, there's too much carbon in the air. How do we sequester more of this carbon? And even with that, there's confusion, right? Like,
Right.
well, don't we need carbon? Don't
Or
the
do we don't?
trees need the carbon? Right. But right now we have this, we're out of balance.
Right.
We're completely out of balance. There's way more carbon going into the air than is being put into the ground. Because typically that's the cycle.
Right. That's the
Right?
cycle. Right.
Carbon goes into the air, then it gets sequestered and goes into the ground, and
Right.
the cycle starts all over again.
Right.
So this technology is meant to address that. It's meant
Right.
to be like a magic pill of how do we address our carbon problem.
Right.
But it's very singular. So we'll go deeper into that. I just want to make sure I'm covering at least like what are we talking about, right? Why are these groups across the state, groups that represent communities,
Right.
community interests, environmental interests, why are we all sort of like against this, right? And it all came to the forefront with this EPA public notice.
Okay.
So the EPA is the Environmental Protection Agency.
Right.
It's a federal agency.
Right.
And they right now are in charge of giving away permits or regulating these projects. They're called Class 6. Again, it gets really complicated really fast, but really
Right. It does.
base level, it's not that complicated.
Right.
It's all in the language, right? And so we're trying to clarify that. But the
Right.
EPA public notice came out, and essentially they were saying what this public notice says is that the EPA wants the Texas Railroad Commission,
Right.
which is a Texas agency, to be in charge of these permits.
Right.
And so that's the first sort of like challenge or hurdle that we're facing right now is we're hoping to get people to put comments together,
Right.
send them into the EPA, letting them know why we don't believe the Texas Railroad Commission is
Right.
the best one to take on this project.
This project. Right. Okay.
So
And
that's-
let them know a little bit.
Sure.
Tell them a little bit about because everybody said, "Well, why are you fighting so hard?" Because we're activists, right? The number one thing is we are trying to save lives. The number one, we're trying to save lives, and that's really the bottom line of it. And we want to hold them to what they're supposed to do. That's the most important thing. We're saving lives, helping to save lives, especially our young, our youth, and our young people.
It
Right.
is the generations after us, you know,
Right.
getting my my child and your children, grandchildren,
Right,
who will deal with the effects of overloading our atmosphere with CO2. This is
Right.
climate change. This is shifts in all our natural weather patterns that we see. And so carbon capture and sequestration or storage, CCS, is the industry's answer to solving climate change caused by CO2. So they want to take it and inject it deep into the earth
Right.
and say, okay, well, we've solved this problem.
Right.
A problem that we have with that is that it's a short-term solution that simply prolongs how much CO2 is getting pumped out into the environment. It doesn't
Right.
actually solve it. It gives
Right.
oil and gas industry, as an industry, an out
Right.
instead of using measures we know work, like efficiency and conservation and using less energy and
Right.
moving towards electrification, which is it produces
Right.
less CO2. Instead of, it really shifts the focus away from that to this one singular thing that's going to, in fact, make them more money if they're
Yes.
the ones, sort of performing this new service.
Right.
While they also get to keep really, extracting and burning fossil fuels, and it really shifts the attention away from true climate solutions. And so that's why it's dangerous,
It's very dangerous.
physically and also as a mindset. And as Arandi said, it's a very singular, like one unidirection,
Right.
if we want to call it a solution.
Right.
And there are scenarios in which, far into the future, part of reducing our CO2 emissions worldwide, we'll need to sequester some of it.
Right.
But our true belief as a coalition is that it's not the first tool. It should not be the first tool in our toolbox. We have a
Right.
lot more tools to get through. And that's part of why we are working so hard to say to EPA, look at the performance record of
Right.
our oil and gas agency in Texas, which has allowed for blowouts and wells left unplugged, irresponsible behavior, and don't hand them a new project. If somebody
Right.
is not shepherding or stewarding their own current projects,
Right.
you don't give them a new one,
Right.
a whole new set.
A whole new set. Okay. Go ahead. Rhonda, can you kind of explain what EPA is and what EPA does for the listeners, so they can know what it is? Okay.
Yeah. So the EPA, as I mentioned, is a federal agency.
Right. Okay.
And so their job is to, for example, be like an oversight agency over
Right.
other oversight agencies.
Right.
And sometimes they also regulate certain certain permits.
Right.
So it's a mixture, right?
Right,
It's
it's a
it's
mixture.
working with the states
Right.
for them to create their own what they call state implementation plans.
Right. Okay.
Which is their own, like, for example, the EPA is the federal agency that has all these major rules around water and around air.
Right.
And then they have to make sure that each state has a plan
Right.
to implement those.
Implement those. Right.
And so they do both that and also overlooking certain permits like they do now. Like, for example, right now, the specific permits we're talking about, which is the injection permits,
Right,
where
okay.
you would be able to inject the carbon deep into the ground.
Into the ground.
That's what these permits are doing, and that's what the EPA is currently overseeing in this situation.
All right.
So
Is
it's a mixture of both.
TCEQ involved in this?
Not in this one.
Not in this one. Okay. Go ahead.
So it's the Railroad Commission of Texas.
Okay.
That would be the state agency they're proposing to give primacy. So that word means just the primary oversight of
Right.
giving the permits and doing regulation and also enforcement. So Railroad Commission of Texas, RRC is how they've given
Right.
themselves their acronym.
Right.
It doesn't have anything to do with the railroad. And
Right.
we vote.
Kind of explain that for the listeners to know that it doesn't have anything to do with the railroad.
Commission of Texas regulates oil and gas industry in Texas, oil
Okay.
and gas wells, and we vote. Every member, every voter in the state votes for one of the three railroad commissioners on
Right.
the ballot, and
On the ballot.
often we don't know what that is. I certainly didn't, and I
Right.
voted here for a long time
Right.
until I really dug into this, and I'm like, that has nothing to do with the railroad, and in fact, it's a really important job.
Right. It is.
We've seen some challenges to the current elected commissioners for the last
Right.
few election cycles because
Right.
people are beginning to pay attention.
To understand it better, because everybody thinks it has to do with the railroad.
Right. But
It
it's
has
oil and
nothing to do
gas.
with the railroad.
Yes, it's tricky. And
Right.
the Railroad Commission of Texas is a captive agency.
Okay.
So in my corner of the world, that means they are captive to the industry they are meant to regulate.
Right.
We see very transparent election campaign dollars coming
Right.
from the companies that the commissioners on the daily
Right.
regulate. They are
Right.
captive to their industry.
Kind of tell them what happens when they just walk off and leave these wells and they don't cap them. What happens when they do that?
We see increased earthquake activity.
Okay.
We see blowouts. So it looks like there's a
Right.
place called Beamer Lake, and it's spelled in a way that I wouldn't say it like that if I saw it on paper. It's Boehmemer, Beamer Lake. But it looks like a huge lake in the middle of a desert, but it's this toxic water and
Right.
oil and gas spewing from an uncapped or unplugged well.
Right.
And there are thousands of these all
Right.
over the state. We realize they are coming across blown out wells, uncapped, that have never been part of any record keeping.
Right.
To say this even was a well site at some point.
Right.
So this goes back decades and decades of sort of mismanagement.
What does it, if you tell us, is there the cost to cap these wells? There's so many of them, but what if they had to cap them all? What does that cost?
I don't have the exact number
Right.
with me, but it's
Right.
expensive.
Very expensive, yes.
Very, very expensive. Millions of dollars.
And where do they get the money from to cap
at
these
least,
wells?
probably at least $1 billion, I would think.
Okay. Now, where did that money comes from?
The taxpayer.
The taxpayers, right?
From all of us.
Yeah, no, it's
The taxpayers need to know where their
it's
money
re-
is going.
It's
Yeah.
real
Yes.
fresh, as some might say.
Right.
The way that we're paying into these experimental
Right.
projects.
Right.
We're paying into tax abatements for these companies.
Right.
And then again, we're taking on the risk of a technology that we don't feel secure about.
Right.
And then so we're actually the taxpayer through the federal dollars
Right.
are paying partly for these carbon capture projects as well.
Right.
So it never ends in terms of what the taxpayer is paying for.
Right.
But the thing is that we don't get to choose what the priorities are,
Right.
right? It's kind of like my 6-year-old niece says,
Mm-hmm.
well, if you pay, you make the rules, right? Like
Right.
if you pay for the house, you make the rules.
Right.
Well, in theory, right? Like in theory, we're
Yes.
paying into this, but we don't have a say.
We don't have a say.
And that's a big problem for us.
We're just a big supporter,
Right.
supporting and like, hey, this needs to be done, but we're also paying taxes.
Exactly.
Right.
Right.
And that's the thing that the community doesn't understand. So that's why we're trying to make them understand mostly about where the tax money is going, right? The tax money is going, and how this can really, it's a lot like, you wouldn't think it would be, but it affects your mental health, your mental state. You know,
100%.
nobody didn't know that, but 100%, right? Explain to them, because it affects your mental state, this carbon capture, yes.
Well, because that's why earlier I said that focusing only on carbon
Right.
is singular focused.
Right.
Because these industries that would be the places where the carbon would be captured
Right.
are producing other chemicals as well.
Right.
Channelview is part of this report that came out recently that said that the benzene levels were so ridiculous in that
Okay.
area. For example, somebody asked, "Well, doesn't benzene come out of
Right.
every car exhaust?" And the response by the expert was, "Yeah, but this is like putting your mouth on the muffler."
Yes.
Right. So you have areas around here, yes, absolutely, that are breathing in these highly toxic chemicals.
Right.
Butadiene, 1,3-butadiene, benzene, different ones that affect
Right.
our mental health.
Our mental health, yes.
I don't know if you guys, I'm going to ask the listeners to kind of pay attention
Right.
to their daily lives and their families in the weeks coming up and
Right.
kind of notice, try to pay attention. You see one person who's in a bad mood one day, and then suddenly you see 2 other people who are really in a bad mood.
Ah, yes,
And
yes,
they're
yes.
all like, they're not really thinking
Yes.
clearly.
Really.
Everyone starts getting cranky at the same time.
Right.
That's telling you that that's something environmental that's
It's
affecting
in the air.
the household.
It's in the air.
Exactly.
It's in the air. Yeah.
And so, unfortunately, I wish that this technology would be able to capture these other
Right.
these other toxic chemicals as well that are
Right.
affecting our mental health.
Right. Go ahead.
There's like, even like if
Pull it up a little
your
bit.
mechanics, like when
Yeah.
they're working on cars, it
Right.
also like sets. Because the reason why I'm asking is because like Miss Scott said, Dr. Scott says, how you say it? Trick of trade of everything.
Yeah.
So one
Yeah.
year, I know helped my husband work on the car. We actually redid the whole inside. So the fumes, the carbon dioxide and all that, it got into like my system.
Okay.
And I ended up going to the emergency room. And lucky I made it there in time because
You
they had my
inhaled so
lungs.
much of that
Yeah.
carbon.
It
Okay.
has affected my lungs.
Okay.
But thank the Lord, I made it through it
Okay.
because they had to give me a treatment. So that's why I was wondering, that's part of that too as well. So
It's in the
basically,
air.
I've been already exposed to it. That's all I was wondering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of our communities are being exposed to many different sources of
Right.
toxins. So it's not about just one thing. It's about the cumulative impacts. The
Right.
cumulative, like for example, my house
Right.
is near the airport. It's near two highways,
Right.
and it's 5 miles away from three different refineries, and it's next to 18-wheeler parking lot, next to so
And
you
you're
start
next to the,
adding all
and you're
the
next to the Port of
things
Houston too, right? Port of Houston.
near the Port of Houston,
Yes.
near these other industries. Yeah.
That was really just sticking out loud to her. But, no, because I was trying to figure out, like, of course, where my mom them stay at. My dad, my
Right,
dad them stay at. It's a big old industry right behind their house.
Right.
And it's constantly, it's like you can, the
Smell.
dust, everything just goes
Right.
straight in their house. And
Right.
she just with asthma real bad.
Right.
Okay.
And then no matter if we go in there try to clean it up, it's still
The dust
affecting her.
comes.
So
And
that
that
means
really
I really have
affects
to
your
pay
health.
close attention to
Right.
that with her and my father being right there by it.
So it affects their mental health and their physical health.
Physical
Right.
health. Well, there's a saying, I don't like to rely on it too much, but that says the poison is in the dose, right?
Right.
So somebody will say, but we need CO2 to live. That's what plants use to make their food. Yes,
Right.
it's true.
Right.
But when it is super concentrated, which is the idea of behind these carbon
Right.
capture
Right.
and injection projects, they're going to super hyper concentrate it and bury
Right.
it deep underground.
Right.
When it's at those kind of volumes and pressure, that's when
Right.
we see seismic activity, which is like
Right.
the earthwake activity I talked about, because we're really pressurizing underground in a way that
Right.
it's never been done before.
Right.
So it's compounding the wells that have been left for decades and centuries unplugged.
Yes.
When they're running into under the geology of this high pressure suddenly,
Right. Right.
we don't know what's going to happen.
We don't know
so
what's gonna
again,
happen.
clean water is involved because water,
Right.
a lot of our water resources are underground sources
Right.
of drinking water.
Underground.
And when CO2 bubbles up through the geology, the rock, the
Right.
formation, the dirt, it can acidify those
Right.
water resources, and that will make them never ever be able to be used for human consumption.
Right.
So that's another big concern about doing this sort of new approach
Right.
of deep injection of carbon dioxide, but
Right.
also having the Railroad Commission of Texas, who does not have a strong record of protecting water resources or
Right.
public health, to take over the program from EPA. That's a real big piece of our objection. So whenever you're ready, I'm happy for us to talk too about what we're asking people to do, to
Okay.
help to support that, like our opposition.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I wanted to emphasize that the one of the main reasons we oppose primacy
Right.
being given to the Railroad Commission is not just their track record, which is
Right.
not ideal. It has not met the
And-
standards that we would hope
Can
for.
you tell them the track record? And can y'all tell them about track record? Because we need for them to Google it. They need to, because people say, well, where's that at? I need to find it. So you tell them they can go and Google this, what you're talking about. That. So we're not just telling them something that's not true.
Yeah.
We're telling you the truth so you can go and Google whatever they're saying. You guys, you can go and Google it, okay?
You
Go
guys
ahead.
can go look into class 2 wells and failures, and then put
Yes.
in the Railroad Commission after,
Right.
and you'll see information on how they have failed to plug. They have failed to plug certain wells. They have failed to really just do their job
Right.
of overseeing these types of wells.
Right.
So if they've already not met the standards that we would hope for
Right.
class 2, we definitely don't want to give them something that's more potent,
Right.
that's more advanced, which is the class 6 wells.
Right.
And not only that, is their staff is bigger than the EPA.
Right.
And so they would go a lot faster.
Right.
And that's a concern for us as well, because then it's really hard to keep up.
Really
And when
is.
you can't keep up with what's going on administratively, we definitely can't be involved in the process as
That's right.
people, as community members.
What if one of these wells explode or something happen? What does that do to people around you? And what does that do? How does it affect your health and your mental health, right? If one
Well,
of these
anytime-
wells
any-
blow, when them blow, right?
Well, anytime a well is unplugged,
Right.
or whether it's leaking on its own or something happened to it, maybe it was hit, then it becomes a lot bigger, and the chemicals that are
Right.
in the air, airborne at that point, are a lot larger.
Right.
And then the concentration of it, again,
Right.
it's the concentration of how much these chemicals are in the air all at once,
Right.
suddenly, without being prepared for it.
Right.
Sadly, our neighbors to the east in a small town called Satarsha, Mississippi.
What is it called?
Satarsha, Mississippi.
Okay.
It's in Yazoo County, Mississippi.
Okay.
Experienced this exact thing, Dr. Scott. A pipeline, a CO2 injection pipeline, had a leak.
Okay.
And what happens, the residents, it seems, didn't know that there was a pipeline of CO2 running under their town.
Right.
So when this leak happens, not even the first responders know how to handle it because they don't know what's leaking.
They hadn't been trained to do that.
Right.
Okay.
And so what happens when this high pressure, like high volume CO2 is suddenly released is that it sucks all the oxygen out of the air.
Right.
So people experience hypoxia, is it? They're like struggling to breathe. They
Right.
said it looked like a zombie invasion because folks were like
Right.
going into convulsions and falling down.
Right, right.
Their cars, because our cars run on combustion
Right.
engines, can't run. So the first responder cars wouldn't start to go help the people who were suffering.
All right.
In that instance, no one died
Well, oh,
in the explosion.
Thank
There are a
God.
lot of ongoing long-term health effects
Right.
in the area.
Right.
And we just don't have any proof technically that that our agency can do any better job
Right.
regulating this, what they call a solution.
And that
It makes
affected
more
a lot of
problems.
people, didn't it? It affected a lot of
Absolutely.
people. Right. Go ahead.
And the thing is, the solution is already in nature. Any
Right.
technology that you see is based off of nature,
Right. That's for nature. That's true.
for starters. So
Right.
it's built in.
Right.
And so we have trees, we have grasses, we have
Right.
things that are already naturally sequesters,
Right.
carbon sequesters.
Right.
But the thing is that if we keep building over all these trees and knocking them down,
Right.
then that's less capacity for those trees. Those are less number of trees or less grasslands
Right.
that are able to sequester that carbon. The oceans as well.
Right,
The
the
more
ocean.
there
Yes.
there are areas where
The ocean is important. Yeah.
the ocean is a massive carbon
Yes.
sequester.
Yes, it is.
But it can also lose capacity to sequester carbon.
Right. Okay.
So my point is that this natural capacity, this natural technology that we already have to sequester carbon
Right.
needs to be taken care of versus replaced.
it's very, very important, especially to our mental health and our physical health.
Right.
Yes. Okay.
And so, yeah,
Well, now that we've scared everybody, it's a problem, including myself.
You open my eyes.
Some days it's easy to get overwhelmed, unfortunately, and that's why
Right.
what our title is community organizers.
Right.
Because we pull folks together to come up with solutions and work together. So again, our motto, like I said, is strength in numbers. That's how we
Right.
have our muscle.
It's
So if you're
numbers
ready,
count.
we'll-
Numbers count.
What's
Yes.
that? Numbers count, yes.
Yes,
But, and
numbers
it is
count.
also, I thought you were going to say accountability. It's about holding.
Yes. Yes.
It's
Go ahead
about
and say
holding
it.
decision makers accountable.
Yeah, we have
and,
to.
and that's how we can do that together as communities of voters and residents. So what we're asking folks to do to help our efforts is to make your own comment, however short or long or technical
Right.
or simple, into the EPA's official record. So it's
Okay.
called EPA. It's a docket they've opened
Okay.
for this
give
rulemaking.
them a website where the community can go to this website and make their comments.
Well, maybe I'll give them the Clean Water Action
Yes.
Texas website because
that's great.
the whole menu of different activities, or we can give them also our coalition website.
Okay,
The whole
yeah.
menu of activities we're asking for will be
Yes.
linked there and makes it
Okay.
very easy.
Okay.
Ultimately, we want hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of public comments into the EPA saying
Right.
we oppose giving this program to the Railroad Commission of Texas
Right. Okay.
by August 1st. This
Okay.
is the end of the comment period. They give us, once they announce this rule, the
Okay.
rulemaking that you heard Arandi speak of, it starts a countdown clock, boom.
Right,
And we
right.
had, 60 days? We asked for an extension. Was it even shorter? 45 days maybe? We asked for
Right.
an extension, didn't get it. Part of EPA's job is to provide public access into these processes, and they're only holding one public hearing. It's
Right.
virtual. It's
Virtual.
not even in person. We asked for more, have not been granted those.
Everything
So there's
is
a
virtual.
public hearing virtual on a Thursday evening, which is July 24th. So you can show up there. There's a registration link that'll be on our sites we can give.
Okay.
And you can say they may give 1 minute or 2 minutes, so it's kind of
Right.
hard to know in advance. But all the materials on our website, and then we're going to also invite listeners to come to workshops that we're putting on as the community groups
Right,
this
yeah.
coming Saturday,
Okay.
July 19th, so we can do this conversation and help you practice what you might want to say
Yeah, yes.
in your comment, either in writing or, you know, if you're going to be at the virtual meeting, and you can turn on your Zoom camera and say, this is my name, this is where I live, and this is why I oppose giving primacy to the Railroad Commission. So I'll look up, I'll gather our
Can you
websites.
give the locations of each one of the locations? Y'all have that?
I do.
And we're inviting people to come out to these different counties that we're going to be having these events. So give them the different location. Go ahead.
Sure. So this is this coming Saturday, July 19th. One is in Brazoria County at the
But
Free-
what the time? Give them the time.
Oh, I will. Okay. Each one is at a different time, just depending on the location. So the one in Brazoria County is at the Freeport Library,
Yes.
and that's on Saturday from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Fort Bend County is going to be at the Houston Community College Southwest, so that's the Missouri City site.
Yes.
And that one is also 1 to 4 o'clock on the
Okay.
Saturday, 1 p.m. to 4 p.m.
Okay.
The Harris County meeting is at Baker Ripley in
Okay.
Pasadena,
Okay.
and that one will go from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Okay.
I got a couple more to say, but I just want to stop there and say there are going to be some door prizes, and if folks need reimbursement for things like gas cards to help them get there,
Right.
and Spanish interpretation will be available.
Okay.
Would you be able to share this with Ms. Scott by email so she can
Absolutely,
share
yes.
that with them?
Yeah, that'd be great if folks can look at this after today, because
Oh, I was about to say all of them is on Saturday, the 19th, or?
Yeah, all of them on Saturday.
Yeah, these are the workshops sort of leading up to the other two dates
Right.
that I mentioned. So Midland County is going to be in Midland at Second Story Co-working, and that's on Saturday from 2 to 4 p.m.
Okay.
And then the fifth one in Nueces County will be at the Owen Hopkins Library. That's in Corpus Christi, and that one's 10:30 to 12:30 on
Okay.
Saturday.
Right. Okay.
So we'll have some food available, like I said, some door prizes, and we'll be helping folks to put together their comments so that we
Right.
can be part of that strength in numbers.
Right. But they can send their comments to the EPA,
EPA, yes,
correct?
ma'am.
Okay.
Why don't
Go
I grab
ahead.
a site while you...
Yes, 'cause
Yeah,
that's
so-
very important what we're asking them to do. We're asking the community
Yeah.
to, yes, we need the participation. Go ahead. Irene.
Right. And
Go
we want to
ahead.
make sure that people aren't just alone in it either.
Right.
Right. Kind of like, here you go write some comments.
Right.
We want to make sure that we're providing support,
Right.
helping people figure out, like kind of teaching them what's the structure of a comment. How do you
Right.
want to tell your story? What are
Right.
important parts of your story to include?
Right.
Everybody knows their own story better than anyone else,
Right.
but
Yes.
it's about helping them put it on paper.
Or just by living in the city, supporting, being a Houstonian.
Yes.
We want to take care of our city.
That's right.
Right.
Exactly.
That's it, girl. You know it.
Yeah.
Take care of our city.
Absolutely.
And the people that's in our city. Right.
And all the new people that are coming through.
Right. And that's the thing. For me, the reason why I was so pulled into working with this topic is because it is coming so fast. It's
It is.
like a train coming in our direction, and no
Right.
one asked us. No one asked us. And I mean, this is a bipartisan concern of mine because with both the administrations, the
Right.
previous one and the current one,
Yes.
nobody asked us. I'm like, either way, we're not being asked.
Don't
and
consider
so-
us at all.
Right. But we're coming together, the
Right.
coalition. Everybody kind of, we're all putting in what we're good at.
Yes.
We're all putting in what our strengths are, working with our strengths, and putting together 5
Right.
different town halls in one day.
That's
it's
amazing.
not a
That's
it's not a
amazing.
small thing.
Right.
It's huge.
Right.
I hope this is on social media.
Yes,
Yes.
we're pushing it out all
Right.
week.
All over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what I love about this is like Ms. Scott, she's focused on recruiting for scholarships.
Yeah.
Right.
Y'all are recruiting an audience
Yeah.
to be
Right.
able to sign to get the support for railroads, for the
Yes.
environmental.
Yes.
I specialize in staffing, but at the end of the day, we all come together as community,
Yes.
supporting.
Yes.
I love
Right.
it. I love it.
Right.
As
We
one, yes.
Yeah.
Like you know your own industry, I know my industry, the ins
Yeah.
and outs.
Right.
Right. She knows her industry, but we're here for the same reason.
Right.
To meet our goals, to reach out to the community, to get the
Yeah.
support.
Yeah.
And we are better and stronger when we come together.
Unity.
I promise you that. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, give it CPS with. Okay.
We'll give a couple of different options for folks to navigate to. Just
Okay.
And of course, for them to follow you on social media.
yes, please
Right,
follow us on
right.
social media. There are the CCS Coalition, so that's Carbon Capture and Storage.
Okay.
Community Coalition is doing a lot of work. We've had some share my stories. So individuals who have been affected by CO2 and uncapped or orphaned wells, we sometimes call them.
Right.
They're on social media. We've produced some videos. They're telling their story.
Right.
People might recognize themselves and be like,
Right.
"Oh, that's something that that
Right.
happened in my family.
Right.
We've heard of that. We've seen that. It damaged our property.
Right.
This is also about property values.
About
that
property. Yes, that's
people,
very
That's
important.
their livelihoods are in danger. And so we're on social media as the CCS Coalition.
Right.
The group that I work for is
Right.
Clean Water Action. You can look at cleanwateraction.org
Right.
and then find /Texas.
Right.
And we'll find the options and the opportunities for all of these different actions that you can take. So writing into the EPA on your own, using our sort of already generated comment to help you get yours started and just personalize it a bit.
Right.
Also, you'll find the directions and all the locations of the workshops that I
Yes.
mentioned, as well as how to register and attend that virtual hearing the EPA is holding on Thursday evening, June 24th from 5
June
to 8
24th.
p.m.
Right.
And I think
That's
found us
Okay.
the specific site. Yes.
Okay. Give them a site as we close. You guys gonna tell them where to find the information. Okay.
So I have a Linktree website, which essentially is a place where all these other links are stored.
Right, okay.
And it's linktr.ee/CCS Town Hall.
Okay.
And then if you guys want to follow our social media, it's the Raíces Collab Project. That's my
Right.
organization. And
Collab.
so just going back to the issue of, not the issue, but the topic of we're all focusing on our strengths and we all know our role the best.
Right.
So at the Raíces Collab Project, we're really focused on improving ecosystems.
Yes.
And that's what it's all about, is figuring out, okay, how can each person,
Right.
be supported and being the best at what they do.
Yeah.
And then coming together to work together.
Right. And that's so important. Coming together and working together. That's very important. That's right.
Well, and I just wanted to say that I think the definition of leadership, somebody asked me to define it once, and I was like, how do you do that? But I did, and I thought it is about hearts, hands, and minds
Yes.
working together. So
I love
you are
that.
so good at influencing hearts and working with people
And
and
collaboration.
workers.
Collaboration,
And
yes.
that's the spirit of the project here, is we're all doing what we're best at. So there's some
I love it.
academics in here, there's some engineers in here, there's some
Right.
community organizers,
Yes.
and we really appreciate the opportunity to share with your audience.
Yes. It's
our work.
wonderful. I love it. I love it. Okay, you guys, thank you guys for being on the show. We had a wonderful show, and I want you guys to say something before we close out to the audience what we are looking for and what we're trying to accomplish because of this show today. Can you tell them that, Irundi? Okay, looking for?
Yeah, what we're really looking for is to engage people in these big projects that are coming to our communities.
Right.
And to bring awareness.
Yes.
Really to bring awareness and to empower
more.
people to act and be involved in the process.
Wonderful. Go ahead.
Sure, and I'll just build on that and say, empowering folks to influence what's happening in their communities. So often, it seems like we can't touch a process. It's just going on. It's too big without,
Right.
for us to even touch. But that's not true. And we
Right.
want to invite folks in
Right.
to influence their own lives.
Right. That's right. Okay.
Absolutely. Thank you, y'all. Y'all gave us some amazing information. I'm
Yes,
sure our
so
audience out there is
amazing.
impressed as well, especially coming from two young ladies. I mean,
Right.
we love our man, But I think it's just very important. We're so talented,
Right.
and learning about y'all's industry is just impressive. But yes, I hope y'all continue following us on social media for
Yes.
safe communities, as well as our young
Yes.
ladies that attended today. We'll make sure that safe communities do post the information so y'all can follow them, support them, show up to their upcoming events, and I'm hoping that Ms. Scott sends that on their newsletter
Right.
with that information.
Yes, we
But
will.
yes, it's collaboration over competition. We're here for the same reason, to reach our goals. Once again, we're having our event August 2nd.
Right.
Please keep us in mind. We need all the support. We need sponsorships
Yes.
from y'all amazing people. You don't have to own a business. You could be an individual and to become a member. It's only $10 a month, $120 per year.
Right.
And if you do have a business, whether it's a small, medium, or large business, we're looking for your collaboration to be able to bless students on August 2nd with scholarships. We do cater to middle schoolers, even our young folks. We have a little young one here today
Yeah, I
in
was so
elementary.
glad she come because
Yes, high
we are
school.
from kindergarten
Yes.
through college. Right.
Through college. So keep us in mind. And on another note, I want to, send blessings to the people that are going through our Texas flooding, the
Yeah, we
ones that
definitely want
lost their
to have
loved ones.
a moment of silence
of
for them
silence,
before we close
yes.
out. Yes, because that was, my heart is still heavy because a lot of those
Absolutely.
with kids and I work with kids every day, so my heart has been heavy for that. So before we close out, we want to
Moment
make
of
sure
silence.
that we have a moment of silence. Ms. Johnson, do you have anything you want to close out with? But yes, we got to pray on that one.
Well, I could say that y'all opened my eyes because it's just what I dealing with my parents. I love them dearly,
Right.
but they like really opened me up, and then I know it's kind of like I could see what my mom going through and why. It's because of what she's under, what she's near, the surrounding area.
Her surrounding, and what she's
Yes.
inhaling every day.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. But yes, that's what I want to say. That y'all open my eyes, and that's
Yes.
all.
All righty. Thank you, Ms. Johnson, for that. And I just want to say before we go for a moment of silence, I'm looking for everybody on August 2nd. We need your support for our students.
On another note, we changed the address. It will be on the newsletter and as well as the social
let me
media.
give them the address now.
Yes.
Our new address, and everybody out there listening, they know that our organization, for your FYI, was Safe Diversity. We are now Safe Communities. And due to that, we had to change our name, and we lost a lot of our funding. But we're asking for you to please come and help our students. It's not about us, it's about our students. And we have 42 students that need to go off to college, and our students that's in college, we want to stay in college. So come out and support Safe Communities.
I want to send out a shout out to our upcoming sponsor, Betty Duran with PHP.
Okay.
Upcoming sponsor, as
Yes.
well as Marcos Law Firm.
Okay.
With
Right.
immigration law firm services.
Right.
And also, of course, Noble. They were one of our top sponsors, 25,000. So we do appreciate your sponsorships and
yes.
your support. And we're always looking forward to your continuation of support as well as new supporters.
Yes, thank you so much. Now this is
And HCC. Let's not forget HCC.
Yeah, HCC. Don't forget Lone Star College. That's in our kids. But we're going to be announcing all of our sponsors and the one that's helping us to stay alive. You guys, we are celebrating 25 years. Wow. 25 years. I said, no, we can't go down on the 25th year. We got to, because I said that my husband is looking down from heaven, and I know he's very proud of what I've done since he passed away the last 16 years and what I kept going, right? So I just want to be able to make sure that the kids can go to high school, go to college, and be successful. And guess what? They come back and be a part of Safe Communities. A lot of them do. And I have one of my students that we are so proud of. She's got a full ride to Harvard, right?
Yes.
So that is awesome. And we have 2 that graduated cum laude. So I'm proud of these students, right? So it's a lot, and we are one-stop shop.
And she's actually going to be an
Kids
attorney.
attorney, because kids can grow up in our program, right? They can stay in the program till they graduate, even in undergrad. So thank everyone for listening now. Before we close out, we're going to have a moment of silence, okay? Okie dokie. Thank you for that moments of silence. And I want to say, see you guys on July 25th. We're going to be honoring cancer survivors. It doesn't matter what cancer you deal with. If you have breast cancer, you have colon cancer, you have lung cancer, kidney cancer, whatever. We want you to come, and we are continuing this to the end of the month, honor our cancer survivors. I am so thankful that I'm a breast cancer survivor for the second time, and I thank God.
Yes.
That's why I say, yeah, praise God for waking me up this morning. I can see the sunshine, and my goal is to help somebody every day. And let me say to you out there listening, tell somebody you love them and smile, because you never know what people are going through.
Yes.
So smile and tell them you love you. Thank you. Have a wonderful day. Safe Diversity love you. Radio Dabang love you. And there's nothing you can do about it. All righty. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Okay.